Part 1 of The Bacchanals by Euripides, translated by Henry Hart Milman. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. The Bacchanals. Dramatis Personae.
Dionysus, read by Greg Giordano.
Tiresias, read by Todd.
Cadmus, read by Jonathan Jones.
Pentheus, recorded by Paul Rossi.
Officer, read by David Purdy.
Messenger, read by Anna Maria.
Agave, read by Jen Broda.
Chorus of Bacchanals, read by Alan Mapstone. The Bacchanals. Dionysus.
Unto this land of Thebes I come, Jove's son, Dionysus, he whom simile of yore, mid the dread midwifery of lightning fire, bore Cadmus' daughter. In a mortal form the god put off, by Dirce stream I stand, and cool its Minos waters, and survey my mother's grave, the thunders slain, the ruins still smouldering of that old ancestral palace, the flame still living of the lightning fire. Here's immortal vengeance 'gainst my mother. And well hath reverent Cadmus set his ban on that heathen-stricken, unapproached place, his daughter's tomb, which I have mantled over with the pale verdure of the trailing vine. And I have left the golden Lydian shores, the Phrygian and the Persian sun-seared plains, and Bactria's walls. The Medes' wild wintry land have passed, and Araby the blest, and all of Asia that along the salt sea coast lifts up her high-towered cities, where the Greeks with the barbarians mingled dwell in peace. And everywhere my sacred choirs mine orgies have founded, by mankind confessed a god. Now first in an Hellenic town I stand. Of all the Hellenic land here, first in Thebes, I have raised my revel shout, my fawn skin donned, taken in my hand my thyrsus ivy crowned. But here, where least beseemed my mother's sisters, vowed Dionysus was no son of Jove, that simile by mortal paramour won, belied great Jove as author of her sin. 'Twas but old Cadmus' craft, hence Jove in wrath struck dead the bold usurper of his bed. So from their homes I've goaded them in frenzy, their wits all crazed, they wander o'er the mountains, and I have forced them wear my wild attire. There's not a woman of old Cadmus' race, but I have maddened from her quiet house, unseemly mingled with the sons of Thebes, on the roofless rocks, 'neath the pale pines they sit. Needs must this proud, recusant city learn, and our dread mysteries initiate her guilt, and humbly seek to make atonement to me for simile mine outraged mother. To me the god confessed of Jove begot, old Cadmus now his might and kingly rule. To Pentheus hath given up his sister's son, my godhead's foe, who from the rich libation repels me, nor makes mention of my name in holy prayer. Wherefore to him, to Thebes, and all her sons, soon will I terribly show that I am born a god, and so depart, here all things well disposed, to other lands, making dread revelation of myself. But if this Theban city in her ire with arms shall seek to drive from off the mountains my Bacchanal rout, at my wild May-nude's head I'll meet and mingle in the awful war. Hence have I taken the likeness of a man, myself transmuted into human form. But ye, who Timolus, Lydia's strength, have left, my Thyosis of women, whom I have led from lands barbarian, mine associates here, and fellow pilgrims, lift ye up your drums, familiar in your native Phrygian cities, made by your mother Rhea's craft and mine, and beat them all round Pentheus' royal palace. Beat till the city of Cadmus throngs to see, I to the Bacchanals in the dim glens of wild Cithaeron go to lead the dance.
From the Asian shore, and by the sacred steep of Tmolus hoar, light I danced with wing-like feet, toilless toil and labour sweet. Away, away, whoe'er he be, leave our path, our temple free. Seal up each silent lip in holy awe, but I, obedient to thy law, O Dionysus, chant the choral hymn to thee. Blessed above all of human line, who deep in mystic rites divine leads his hallowed life with us, initiates in our Thyasus, and purified with holiest waters, goes dancing o'er the hills with Bacchus' daughters, and thy dark orgies hallows he, O mighty mother Cybele. He his thyras shaking round, all his locks with ivy crowned, O Dionysus, boasts of thy dread train to be. Bacchanals, away, away, lead your god in fleet array. Bacchus lead the ever young, a god himself from gods that sprung from the Phrygian mountains down, through every wide-squared Grecian town. Him the Theban queen of yore, mid Jove's fast-flashing lightnings bore, in her awful travail wild, sprung from her wound the untimely child. While smitten with the thunder blast, the sad mother breathed her last. Instant him Saturnian Jove received with all a mother's love. In his secret thigh immured, there with golden clasps secured, safe from Heres' jealous sight. Then, as the fates fulfilled to light, he gave the horned god, and wound the living snakes his brows around. Whence still the wanded Maenads bear their serpent prey wreathed in their floating hair. Put on thy ivy crown, O Thebes, thou sacred town. O hallowed house of dark-haired Semele, bloom, blossom everywhere, with flowers and fruitage fair, and let your frenzied steps supported be with thrice from the oak, or the green ash-tree broke. Your spotted fawn-skins line with locks, torn from the snowy fleeced flocks, shaking his wanton wand let each advance, and all the land shall madden with the dance. Bromius, that his revel rout to the mountains leads about, to the mountains leads along, where awaits the female throng. From the distaff, from the loom, raging with the god they come. O ye mountains wild and high, where the old Caretae lie, glens of Crete where Jove was nursed, in your sunless caverns first, the crested Corybantes found, the leathern drums mysterious round, that, mingling in harmonious strife, with the sweet-breathed Phrygian fife, in Mother Rhea's hands they place, meet the Bacchic song of grace. And the frantic satyrs round that ancient goddess leap and bound. And soon the triateric dances light began, immortal Bacchus' chief delight. On the mountains wild 'tis sweet, when faint with rapid dance our feet, our limbs on earth all careless thrown, with the sacred fawn scheme strewn, to quaff the goat's delicious blood, a strange, a rich, a savage food. Then off again the revel goes, o'er Phrygian, Lydian mountain brows. Evoi, Evoi leads the road, Bacchus' self, the maddening god. And flows with milk the plain, and flows with wine, flows with the wild bees' nectar dews divine, and soars like smoke the Syrian incense pale, the while the frantic Bacchanal, the beaconing pine torch on her wand, whirls around with rapid hand, and drives the wandering dance about, beating time with joyous shout, and casts upon the breezy air all her rich luxuriant hair. Ever the burden of her song, raging, maddening, haste along. Bacchus' daughters, ye the pride of golden Tmolus' fabled side. While your heavy cymbals ring, still your Evoi, Evoi sing. Evoi, the Evian god, rejoices in Phrygian tones and Phrygian voices, when the soft holy pipe is breathing sweet, in notes harmonious to her feet, who to the mountain speeds, like some young colt that by its mother feeds. Gladsome with many a frisking bound, the Bacchanal goes forth, and treads the echoing ground. Tiresias.
Oh, someone in the gates. Call from his palace Cadmus, Agenor's son, who, city walls leaving, built up this towered city of Thebes. Oh, someone say, Tiresias awaits him. Well knows he why I am here. The covenant which I, the old man, have made with him still older, to lift the Thyris wand, the fawn skin wear, and crown our grey hairs with the ivy leaves.
Cadmus.
Best friend, with what delight within my palace I heard thy speech, the speech of a wise man. Lo, I am here in the gods' sacred garb, for needs must we, the son of my own daughter, Dionysus, now amongst men a manifest god, even to the utmost of our power extol. Where shall we lead the dance, plant the light foot, and shake the hoary locks? Tiresias, thou, the aged, lead the aged, wise art thou. Nor will I weary night and day the earth, beating with my live thyrsus. Oh, how sweetly will we forget we are old.
Thou art as myself. I too grow young. I too essay the dance.
Shall we then in our chariots seek the mountains?
It were not the same homage to the god.
The old man still shall be the old man's tutor.
The god will guide us thither without toil.
Of all the land, join we alone the dance?
All else misjudge. We only are the wise.
Too long we linger. Hold thou fast mine hand.
Lo, thus true yoke fellows join hand in hand.
I, mortal born, may not despise the gods.
No wile, no paltering with the deities. The ancestral faith, coeval with our race, no subtle reasoning, if it soar aloft, even to the height of wisdom, can overthrow. Some one will say that I disgrace mine age, wrapped in the dance and ivy-crowned my head. The gods admit no difference. Old or young, all it behooves to mingle in the rite. From all he will receive the common honour, nor deign to count his countless votaries.
Since thou, Tiresias, seest not day's sweet light, I, as thy seer, must tell thee what is coming. Lo, Pentheus, hurrying homewards to his palace, Eetion's son, to whom I have given the kingdom. He is strangely moved. What new thing will he say?
Pentheus.
I have been absent from this land, and hear of strange and evil doings in the city. Our women all have left their homes to join these fabled mysteries. On the shadowy rocks frequent they sit this god of yesterday, Dionysus, whosoe'er he be, with revels dishonorable honoring. In the midst stand the crowned goblets, and each stealing forth this way and that creeps to a lawless bed. In pretext, wholly sacrificing Maenads, but serving Aphrodite more than Bacchus. All, whom I've apprehended, in their gyves our officers guard in the public prison. Those that have scaped I'll hunt from off the mountains, Ino, Agave, who to Ichion bare me, her too, Autonoe, Antiasa's mother, and fettering them all in iron bands, I'll put an end to their mad wickedness. 'Tis said, a stranger hath appeared among us, a wizard, sorcerer from the land of Lydia, beauteous with golden locks and purple cheeks, eyes moist with Aphrodite's melting fire. And day and night he is with the throng to guile young maidens to the soft inebriate rites. But if I catch him neath this roof, I'll silence the beating of his thyrsus, stay his locks wild tossing from his body, severing his neck. He, say they, is the new god Dionysus, that was sewn up within the thigh of Jove. He, with his mother, guiltily that boasted herself Jove's bride, was blasted by the lightning. Are not such deeds deserving the base halter? Sin heaped on sin, whoe'er this stranger be. But lo, new wonders! See I not Tiresias the prophet in the dappled fawn-skin clad? My mother's father too, a sight for laughter, tossing his hair? My sire, I blush for thee, beholding thine old age thus fatuous grown. Will not shake off that ivy? Free thine hand from that unseemly wand, my mother's father? This is thy work, Tiresias. This new god wilt thou install mongst men at higher price to vend new auspices and well-paid offerings. If thine old age were not thy safeguard, thou shouldst pine in chains among the Bacchanal women. False teacher of new rites! For where 'mong women the grape's sweet poison mingles with the feast, not wholly may we augur of such worship.
O impious, dost thou not revere the god, nor Cadmus, who the earth-born harvest sowed? Eetion's son, how dost thou shame thy lineage?
'Tis easy to be eloquent for him that's skilled in speech, and hath a stirring theme. Thou hast the flowing tongue as of a wise man, but there's no wisdom in thy fluent words. For the bold demagogue, powerful in speech, is but a dangerous citizen, lacking sense. This is the new deity thou laughest to scorn. I may not say how mighty he will be throughout all Hellas. Youth, there are two things man's primal need. Demeter, the boon goddess, or rather will ye call her Mother Earth, with solid food maintains the race of men. He, on the other hand, the son of Semele, found out the grape's ripe juice, and taught us mortals that which beguiles the miserable of mankind of sorrow, when they quaff the vine's rich stream. Sleep, too, and drowsy oblivion of care he gives, all-healing medicine of our woes. He among the gods is worshipped a great god, author confessed to man of such rich blessings. He dost thou laugh to scorn, as in Jove's thigh sewn up, this truth profound will I unfold. When Jove had snatched him from the lightning fire, he to Olympus bore the new-born babe. Stern Here strove to thrust him out of heaven, but Jove encountered her with wiles divine. He clove off part of the earth-encircling air, there Dionysius placed, the pleasing hostage, aloof from jealous Here. So men said, hereafter he was cradled in Jove's thigh, from the assonance of words in our old tongue, for thigh and hostage the wild fable grew. A prophet is our God, for Bacchanalianism and madness are alike prophetical. And when the god comes down in all his power, he makes the mad to rave of things to come. Of Ares he hath attributes, he the host in all its firm array and serried arms, with panic fear scatters, ere lance cross lance. From Dionysius springs this frenzy too. And him shall we behold on Delphi's crags, leaping, with his pine torches lighting up the rifts of the twin-headed rock, and shouting and shaking all around his Bacchic wand, great through all Hellas. Pentheus, be advised, vaunt not thy power o'er man, even if thou thinkest that thou art wise. It is diseased, thy thought. Think it not. In the land receive the god. Pour wine, and join the dance, and crown thy brows. Dionysius does not force our modest matrons to the soft Cyprian rites. The chaste by nature are not so cheated of their chastity. Think well of this, for in the Bacchic choir the holy woman will not be less holy. Thou art proud. When men to greet thee throng the gates, and the glad city welcomes Pentheus' name, he too, I ween, delights in being honoured. I, therefore, and old Cadmus whom thou mockest, will crown our heads with ivy, dance along a hoary pair, or dance perforce we must. I war not with the gods. Follow my counsel. Thou art at the height of madness. There's no medicine can minister to disease so deep as thine.
Old man, thou shamest not Phoebus, thine own god. Wise art thou worshipping that great god Bromius.
My son, Tiresias well hath counselled thee. Dwell safe with us within the pale of law. Now thou fliest high. Thy sense is void of sense. Even if, as thou declarest, he were no god, call thou him God. It were a splendid falsehood, if Semele be thought to have borne a god, to honour unto us and to our race. Hast thou not seen Actaeon's wretched fate? The dogs he bred, who fed from his own board, rent him in wrath to pieces, for he vaunted than Artemis to be a mightier hunter. So do not thou. Come, let me crown thine head with ivy, and with us adore the god.
Hold off thine hand. Away! Go rave and dance, and wipe not off thy folly upon me. On him, thy folly's teacher, I will wreak instant, relentless justice. Someone go, the seats from which he spies the flight of birds, false augur, with the iron forks o'erthrow, scattering in wild confusion all abroad, and cast his chaplets to the winds and storms. Thou'lt gall him thus, gall to the height of bitterness. Ye to the city! Seek that stranger out, that womanly man, who with this new disease afflicts our matrons and defiles their beds. Seize him, and bring him hither straight in chains, that he may suffer stoning, that dread death. Such be his woeful orgies here in Thebes.
Oh, miserable! Thou knowest not what thou sayest. Crazed wert thou, now thou art at the height of madness. But go we, Cadmus, and pour forth our prayer even for this savage and ungodly man, and for our city, lest the god o'ertake us with some strange vengeance. Come, with thy ivy staff, lean thou on me, and I will lean on thee. 'Twere sad for two old men to fall, yet go we must, and serve great Bacchus, son of Jove. What woe, O Cadmus, will this woe-named man bring to thine house? I speak not now as prophet, but a plain simple fact. Fools still speak folly.
Holy goddess, goddess old, holy, thou the crown of gold, in the nether realm that wearest, Pentheus' awful speech thou hearest his insulting tone, 'gainst Semele's immortal son, Bromius, of gods the first and best. At every gay and flower-crowned feast, his the dances, jocund strife, and the laughter with the fife, every care and grief to lull, when the sparkling wine-cup full crowns the gods' banquets, or lets fall sweet sleep on the eyes of men at mortal festival. Of tongue unbridled without awe, of madness spurning holy law, sorrow is the Jove-doomed close. But the life of calm repose and modest reverence holds her state, unbroken by disturbing fate, and knits whole houses in the tie of sweet domestic harmony. Beyond the range of mortal eyes, 'tis not wisdom to be wise. Life is brief, the present clasp, nor after some bright future grasp. Such were the wisdom, as I ween, only of frantic and ill-counselled men. Oh, would to Cyprus I might roam, soft Aphrodite's isle, where the young loves have their perennial home, that soothe men's hearts with tender guile. Or to that wondrous shore wherever the 100-mouthed barbaric river makes teem with wealth the showerless land. Oh, lead me till I stand, Bromius, sweet Bromius, where high-swelling soars the Pierian Muses' dwelling, Olympus' summit hoar and high, thou revel-loving deity. For there are all the graces, and sweet desire is there, and to those hallowed places, to lawful rites the Bacchanals repair. The deity, the son of Jove, the banquet is his joy, peace the wealth-giver doth he love, that nurse of many a noble boy. Not the rich man's soul possessing, to the poor the painless blessing gives he of the wine-cup bright. Him he hates who day and night, gentle night and gladsome day, cares not thus to while away. Be thou wisely unsevere, shun the stern and the austere. Follow the multitude, their usage still pursue, their homely wisdom rude, such is my sentence, is both right and true. Officer.
Pentheus, we are here. In vain we went not forth. The prey which thou commandest we have taken. Gentle our quarry met us, nor turned back his foot in flight, but held out both his hands, became not pale, changed not his ruddy colour. Smiling, he bade us bind and lead him off, stood still and made our work a work of ease. Reverent, I said, Stranger, I arrest thee not of mine own will, but by the king's command. But all the Bacchanals, whom thou hadst seized and bound in chains within the public prison, all now have disappeared. Released they are leaping, in their wild orgies, hymning the god Bacchus. Spontaneous fell the chains from off their feet. The bolts drew back untouched by mortal hand. In truth, this man, with many wonders rife, comes to our Thebes. 'Tis thine to ordain the rest.
Bind fast his hands. Thus in his manacles sharp must he be indeed to scape us now. There's beauty, Stranger, woman-witching beauty. Therefore thou art in Thebes, in thy soft form. Thy fine bright hair, not coarse like the hard athlete's, is mantling o'er thy cheek, warm with desire. And carefully thou hast cherished thy white skin, not in the sun's swart beams, but in cool shade, wooing soft Aphrodite with thy loveliness. But tell me first, from whence hath sprung thy race?
There needs no boast, 'tis easy to tell this. Of flowery Tmolus hast thou haply heard?
Yea, that which girds around the Sardian city.
Thence am I come, my country Lydia.
Whence unto Hellas bringest thou thine orgies?
Dionysus, son of Jove, hath hallowed them.
Is there a Jove, then, that begets new gods?
No, it was here he wedded Semele.
Hallowed he them by night, or in the eye of day?
In open vision he revealed his orgies.
And what, then, is thine orgy's solemn form?
That is not uttered to the uninitiate.
What profit, then, is theirs who worship him?
Thou mayest not know, though precious were that knowledge.
A cunning tale, to make me long to hear thee.
The orgies of our gods scorn impious worshippers.
Thou saw'st the manifest god? What was his form?
But ere he would, it was not mine to choose.
Cleverly blinked our question with no answer.
Who wiseliest speaks to the fool speaks foolishness.
And hither comest thou first with thy new god.
There's no barbarian but adores these rites.
Being much less wise than we Hellenians.
In this more wise, their customs differ much.
Performest thou these rites by night or day?
Most part by night. Night hath more solemn awe.
A crafty, rotten plot to catch our women.
Even in the day, bad men can do bad deeds.
Thou of thy wiles shalt pay the penalty.
Thou of thine ignorance, impious towards the gods.
He's bold, this Bacchus, ready enough in words.
What penalty, what evil wilt thou do me?
First will I clip away those soft bright locks.
My locks are holy, dedicate to my God.
Next, give thou me that thyrsus in thine hand.
Take it thyself, 'tis Dionysi's wand.
I'll bind thy body in strong iron chains.
My God himself will loose them when he will.
When thou invokest him mid thy Bacchanals.
Even now he is present. He beholds me now.
Where is he, then? Mine eyes perceive him not.
Near me, the impious eyes may not discern him.
Seize on him, for he doth insult our Thebes.
I warned thee, bind me not, the insane the sane.
I, stronger than thou art, say I will bind thee.
Thou know'st not where thou art, or what thou art.
Pentheus, Agave's son, my sire, Echion.
Thou hast a name whose very sound is woe.
Away! Go bind him in our royal stable, that he may sit in midnight gloom profound. There lead thy dance. But those thou hast hither led, thy guilt's accomplices will sell for slaves, or, silencing their noise and beating drums, as handmaids to the distaff set them down.
Away then, 'tis not well I bear such wrong. The vengeance for this outrage he will wreak, whose being thou deniest, Dionysus. Outraging me, ye bind him in your chains.
Holy virgin haunted water, ancient Achelus's daughter, Dirce, in thy crystal wave, thou the child of Jove didst lave. Thou, when Zeus his awful sire snatched him from the immortal fire, and locked him up within his thigh, with a loud but gentle cry, Come, my Dithyrambus, come, enter thou the masculine womb. Lo, to Thebes I thus proclaim, twice born, thus thy mystic name. Blessed Dirce, dost thou well from thy green marge to repel me and all my jocund round, with their ivy garlands crowned? Why dost fly me? Why deny me? By all the joys of wine I swear, Bromius still shall be my care. Oh, what pride, pride unforgiven, manifests against high heaven, to the earth born, whom immortal birth gat Echion, son of earth. Pentheus of dragon brood, not of human flesh and blood, but portent dire, like him whose pride the Titan all the gods defied. Me, great Bromius' handmaid true, me with all my festive crew, thralled in chains he still would keep, in his palace dungeon deep. Seest thou this, O son of Jove, Dionysius from above? Thy rapt prophets dost thou see at strife with dark necessity, the golden wand in thy right hand. Come, come thou down Olympus' side, and quell the bloody tyrant in his pride. Art thou holding revel now on Nias' wild beast-haunted brow? Is't thy Thyasus that clambers o'er Corycia's mountain chambers? Or on Olympus thick with wood, with his harp where Orpheus stood, and led the forest trees along, led the wild beasts with his song? O Pieria, blessed land, Evius hallows thee advancing, with his wild choirs mystic dancing. Over rapid Axius' strand he shall pass, o'er Lydia's tide then his whirling maenads guide. Lydia, parent boon of health, giver to man of boundless wealth, washing many a sunny mead, where the prancing coursers feed.
What ho, ye Bacchanals! Rouse and wake, your master calls.
Who is here? And what is he that calls upon our wandering train?
What ho, I call again, the son of Jove and Semele.
What ho, our lord and master. Come, with footsteps fast and faster, join our revel. Bromius, speed, till quakes the earth beneath our tread. Alas, alas! Soon shall Pentheus' palace wall shake and crumble to its fall.
Bacchus treads the palace floor. Adore him.
Oh, we do adore. Behold, behold, the pillars with their weight above of ponderous marble shake and move. Hark! The trembling roof within, Bacchus shouts his mighty din.
The kindling lamp of the dark lightning bring. Fire, fire the palace of the guilty king.
Behold, behold, it flames, do ye not see, around the sacred tomb of Semele, the blaze that left the lightning there, when Jove's red thunder fired the air. On the earth supine and low, your shuddering limbs ye Maenads throw. The king, the Jove-born god destroying all, in widest ruin strews the palace wall.
O ye barbarian women, thus prostrate in dismay, upon the earth ye fallen, see ye not, as ye may, how Bacchus Pentheus' palace in wrath hath shaken down? Rise up, take courage, shake off that trembling swoon.
O light that goodliest shinest, over our mystic rite in state forlorn we saw thee, saw with what deep affright.
How to despair ye yielded, as I boldly entered in to Pentheus, as if captured into the fatal gin.
How could I less? Who guards us, if thou shouldst come to woe? But how wast thou delivered from thy ungodly foe?
Myself delivered, with ease and effort slight.
Thy hands, had he not bound them in halters strong and tight?
'Twas even then I mocked him, he thought me in his chain. He touched me not, nor reached me, his idle thoughts were vain. In the stable stood a heifer, where he thought he had me bound. Round the beast's knees his cords and cloven hoofs he wound. Wrath breathing from his body, the sweat fell like a flood. He bit his lips in fury, while I beside who stood looked on in unmoved quiet. As at that instant come, shook Bacchus the strong palace, and on his mother's tomb flames kindled. When he saw it on fire, the palace deeming, hither he rushed, and thither for water, screaming, and every slave gained labor, but labored all in vain. The toil he soon abandoned, as though I had fled amain. He rushed into the palace, in his hand the dark sword gleamed. Then, as it seemed, great Bromius, I say, but as it seemed, in the hall a bright light kindled, on that he rushed, and there, as slaying me in vengeance, stood stabbing the thin air. But then the avenging Bacchus brought new calamities. From roof to base that palace in smouldering ruin lies. Bitter ruing our imprisonment, with toil forspent he threw on earth his useless weapon. Mortal he had dared to do 'gainst a god unholy battle. But I, in quiet state, unheeding Pentheus' anger, came through the palace gate. It seems even now his sandal is sounding on its way. Soon is he here before us, and what now will he say? With ease will I confront him, ire breathing though he stand. 'Tis easy to a wise man to practice self-command.
I am outraged, mocked. The stranger hath escaped me whom I so late had bound in iron chains. Off, he is here, the man! How's this? How stands he before our palace as just issuing forth?
Stay thou thy step, subdue thy wrath to peace.
How, having burst thy chains, hast thou come forth?
Said I not? Heardst thou not? There's one will free me?
What one? Thou speakest still words new and strange.
He who for man plants the rich tendrilled vine.
Well layest thou this reproach on Dionysus. Without there, close and bar the towers around.
What? And the gods? Or leap they not all walls?
Wise in all wisdom, save in that thou shouldst have.
In that I should have wisest still am I. But listen first, and hear the words of him who comes to thee with tidings from the mountains. Here will we stay. Fear not, we will not fly.
Messenger.
Pentheus, that rulest o'er this land of Thebes, I come from high Cithaeron, ever white, with the bright glittering snow's perennial rays.
Why comest thou? On what pressing mission bound?
I've seen the frenzied Bacchanals, who had fled on their white feet, forth goaded from the land. I come to tell thee and to this city the awful deeds they do, surpassing wonder. But answer first if I shall freely say all that's done there, or furl my prudent speech. For thy quick temper I do fear, O king, thy sharp resentment and o'er royal pride.
Speak freely. Thou shalt part unharmed by me. Wrath were not seemly 'gainst the unoffending. But the more awful what thou sayest of these mad women, I, the more on him who hath guiled them to their wild life, will wreak my just revenge.
Mine herds of heifers I was driving, slow winding their way along the mountain crags, when the sun pours his full beams on the earth. I saw 3 bands, 3 choirs of women. One Autonoe led, thy mother led the second Agave, and the third Ino, and all quietly slept, their languid limbs stretched out. Some resting on the ash trees stemmed their tresses, some with their heads upon the oak leaves thrown careless, but not immodest. As thou sayest, that drunken with the goblet and shrill fife in the dusk woods they prowl for lawless love. Thy mother, as she heard the horned steers deep lowing, stood up mid the Bacchanals and shouted loud to wake them from their rest. They from their lids shaking the freshening sleep rose upright, wondrous in their decent guise, the young, the old, the maiden yet unwed. And first they loosed their locks over their shoulders, their fawn skins fastened, whithersoever the clasps had lost their hold, and all the dappled furs with serpents bound, that lolled out their lithe tongues. Some in their arms held kid or wild wolf's cub, suckling it with her white milk, all the young mothers who had left their newborn babes and stood with breasts full swelling, and they all put on their crowns of ivy, oak, or flowering eglantine. One took a thyrsus wand and struck the rock, leaped forth at once a dewy mist of water, and one her rod plunged deep in the earth, and there the gods sent up a fountain of bright wine. And all that longed for the white blameless draught, light scraping with their finger ends the soil, had streams of exquisite milk. The ivy wands distilled from all their tops rich store of honey. Hadst thou been there, seeing these things, the god thou now revilest thou hast adored with prayer. And we, herdsmen and shepherds, gathered around. And there was strife among us in our words of these strange things they did, these marvelous things. One city-bred, a glib and practised speaker, addressed us thus: Ye that inhabit here the holy mountain slope, shall we not chase Agave, Pentheus' mother, from the Bacchanals, and win the royal favor? Well, to us he seemed to speak, so crouched in the thick bushes we lay in ambush. They, at the appointed hour, shook their wild thyrsi in the Bacchic dance. Iacchus with one voice, the son of Jove, Bromius invoking. The hills danced with them, and the wild beast was nothing stood unmoved. And I leaped forth as though to seize on her, leaving the sedge where I had hidden myself, but she shrieked out, Ho, my swift-footed dogs! These men would hunt us down, but follow me, all your hands with thyrsi armed. We fled amain, or by the Bacchanals we had been torn in pieces. They, with hands, unarmed with iron, rushed on the browsing steers. One ye might see a young and vigorous heifer, hold lowing in her grasp like a prize of war. And some were tearing asunder the young calves, and ye might see the ribs or cloven hooves hurled wildly up and down, and mangled skins were hanging from the ash boughs, dropping blood. The wanton bulls, proud of their tossing horns of yore, fell stumbling, staggering to the ground, dragged down by the strong hands of 1,000 maidens. And swifter were the entrails torn away than drop the lids over your royal eyeballs. Like birds that skim the earth, they glide along o'er the wild plains that by Asopus' stream shoot up for Thebes the rich and yellow corn, and Hysiae and Erathae that beneath Cithaeron's crag dwell lowly, like fierce foes invading, all with ravage waste and wide confounded. Infants snatched from their sweet homes, and what they threw across their shoulders clung unfastened nor fell down to the black ground. No brass nor ponderous iron on their locks was fire that burned them not. Of those they spoiled, some in their sudden fury rushed to arms. Then was a mightier wonder seen, O king. From them the pointed lances drew no blood. But they their thrice hurling, javelin-like, drave all before, and smote their shameful backs. Women drave men, but not without the god. So when they straight returned from whence they came, even to the fountains which the god made flow, washed off the blood, and from their cheeks the drops the serpents licked, and made them bright and clean. This Godhead then, whoever he may be, my master, receive within our city, great in all things, and this I hear men say, he is the greatest. He hath given the sorrow-soothing vine to man, for where wine is not, love will never be, nor any other joy of human life.
I am afraid to speak the words of freedom before the tyrant, yet it must be said, inferior to no god is Dionysus. End of part 1. Part 2 of The Bacchanals by Euripides, translated by Henry Hart Milman. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. The Bacchanals, Part 2. Pentheus.
'Tis here then, like a wildfire burning on, this Bacchic insolence, Hellas's deep disgrace. Off with delay. Go to the Electrian gates, and summon all that bear the shield, and all the cavalry upon their prancing steeds, and those that couch the lance, and of the bow twang the sharp string. Against these Bacchanals we will go war. It were indeed too much from women to endure what we endure.
Dionysus.
Thou wilt not be persuaded by my words, Pentheus, yet though of thee I have suffered wrong, I warn thee, rise not up against the god, rest thou in peace. Bromius will never brook, ye drive his Maenudes from their mountain haunts.
Wilt teach me? Better fly and save thyself, ere yet I wreak stern justice upon thee.
Rather do sacrifice, than in thy wrath kick against the pricks a mortal against a god.
I'll sacrifice, and in Kithaeron's glens, as they deserve, a hecatomb of women.
Soon will ye fly, 'twere shame that shields of brass before the Bacchic fiercely turn in rout.
I am bewildered by this dubious stranger. Doing or suffering, he holds not his peace.
My friend, thou still mayest bring this to good end.
How so? By being the slave of mine own slaves?
These women, without force of arms, I'll bring them.
Alas, he is plotting now some wile against me.
But what if I could save thee by mine arts?
Ye are all in league, that ye may hold your orgies.
I am in a league, 'tis true, but with the god.
Bring out mine armor. Thou have done thy speech.
Ha! Wouldst thou see them seated on the mountains?
Aye, for the sight give 1,000 weight of gold.
Why hast thou fallen upon this strange desire?
'Twere grief to see them in their drunkenness.
Yet gladly wilt thou see what scene would grieve thee.
Mark well, in silence seated 'neath the ash trees.
But if thou goest in secret, they will scent thee.
Best openly, in this thou hast said well.
But if we lead thee, wilt thou dare the way?
Lead on, and swiftly, let no time be lost.
But first enwrap thee in these linen robes.
What, will he of a man make me a woman?
Lest they should kill thee, seeing thee as a man.
Well dost thou speak. So spake the wise of old.
Dionysus hath instructed me in this.
How then can we best do what thou advisest?
I'll enter in the house, and there array thee.
What dress? A woman's? I am ashamed to wear it.
Art thou not eager to behold the Maenudes?
And what dress sayest thou I must wrap around me?
I'll smooth thine hair down lightly on thy brow.
What is the second portion of my dress?
Robes to thy feet, a bonnet on thine head.
Wilt thou array me then in more than this?
A thyrsus in thy hand, a dappled fawn skin.
I cannot clothe me in a woman's dress.
Thou wilt have bloodshed warring on the Maenudes.
'Tis right. I must go first survey the field.
'Twere wiser than to hunt evil with evil.
How pass the city, unseen of the Thebans?
We'll go by lone byways. I'll lead thee safe.
Aught better than be mocked by these loose Bacchanals. When we come back, we'll counsel what were best.
Even as you will, I am here at your command.
So let us on. I must go forth in arms, or follow the advice thou givest me.
Women, this man is in our net. He goes to find his just doom mid the Bacchanals. Dionysus, to thy work. Thou art not far off. Vengeance is ours. Bereave him first of sense, yet be his frenzy slight. In his right mind he never had put on a woman's dress. But now, thus shaken in his mind, he'll wear it. A laughing stock I'll make him to all Thebes, led in a woman's dress through the wide city, for those fierce threats in which he was so great. But I must go, and Pentheus, in the garb, which wearing, even by his own mother's hand slain, he goes down to Hades. Know he must, Dionysus, son of Jove, among the gods mightiest, yet mildest to the sons of men.
Oh, when, through the long night, with fleet foot glancing white, shall I go dancing in my revelry, my neck cast back and bare unto the dewy air, like sportive fawn in the green meadow's glee? Lo, in her fear she springs over the encircling rings, over the well-woven nets far off and fast, while swift along her track the huntsman cheers his pack with panting toil and fiery storm-wind haste. Where down the river-bank spreads the wide meadow, rejoices she in the untrod solitude, couches at length beneath the silent shadow of the old hospitable wood. What is wisest, what is fairest, of God's boons to man the rarest? With the conscious conquering hand above the foeman's head to stand, what is fairest still is dearest. Slow come, but come at length, in their majestic strength, faithful and true the avenging deities, and chastening human folly, and the mad pride unholy of those who to the gods bow not their knees. For hidden still and mute, as glides their printless foot, the impious on their winding path they hound. For it is ill to know, and it is ill to do, beyond the law's inexorable bound. 'Tis but like cost in his own power sublime to array the Godhead whosoe'er he be, and law is old even as the oldest time, nature's own unrepealed decree. What is wisest, what is fairest, of God's boons to man the rarest? With the conscious conquering hand above the foeman's head to stand. What is fairest still is rarest. Who hath scaped the turbulent sea, and reached the haven? Happy he! Happy he whose toils are o'er in the race of wealth and power. This one here and that one there passes by, and everywhere still expectant thousands over, thousand hopes are seen to hover. Some to mortals end in bliss, some have already fled away. Happiness alone is his, that happy is today.
Thou art mad to see that which thou shouldst not see, and covetous of that thou shouldst not covet. Pentheus, I say, come forth, appear before me, clothed in the Bacchic Maenads' womanly dress. Spy on thy mother and her holy crew, come like in form to one of Cadmus' daughters.
Ha! Now indeed 2 sons I seem to see, a double Thebes, 2 7-gated cities. Thou as a bull seemest to go before me, and horns have grown upon thine head. Art thou a beast indeed? Thou seemest a very bull.
The god is with us, unpropitious once, but now at truce. Now seest thou what thou shouldst see.
What see I? Is not that the step of Ino? And is it not Agave there, my mother?
Methinks 'tis even they whom thou beholdst, but lo, this tress hath strayed out of its place, not as I braided it beneath thy bonnet.
Tossing it this way now tossing that. In Bacchic glee I have shaken it from its place.
But we, whose charge it is to watch o'er thee, will braid it up again. Lift up thy head.
Braid as thou wilt, we yield ourselves to thee.
Thy zone is loosened, and thy robe's long folds droop outward, nor conceal thine ankles now.
Around my right foot, so it seems, yet sure around the other it sits close and well.
Wilt thou not hold me for thy best of friends, thus strangely seeing the coy Bacchanals?
The thyrsus. In my right hand shall I hold it, or thus am I more like a Bacchanal?
In thy right hand, and with thy right foot raise it. I praise the change of mind now come o'er thee.
Could I not now bear up upon my shoulders Kithaeron's crag, with all the Bacchanals?
Thou couldst, if 'twere thy will, in thy right mind. Ere will thou wast not. Now thou art as thou shouldst be.
Shall I take levers, pluck it up with my hands, or thrust mine arm or shoulder neath its base?
Destroy thou not the dwellings of the nymphs, the seats where Pan sits piping in his joy.
Well hast thou said. By force we conquer not these women. I'll go hide in yonder ash.
Within a fatal ambush wilt thou hide thee, stealing a treacherous spy upon the Maenads.
And now I seem to see them there like birds, couching on their soft beds amid the fern.
Art thou not therefore set as watchman o'er them? Thou'lt seize them if they do not seize thee first.
Lead me triumphant through the land of Thebes. I, only I, have dared a deed like this.
Thou art the city's champion, thou alone. Therefore a strife thou wouldst not of awaits thee. Follow me, thy preserver goes before thee. Another takes thee hence.
Mean'st thou my mother?
Aloft shalt thou be borne.
Oh, the soft carriage!
In thy mother's hands.
Wilt make me thus luxurious?
Strange luxury indeed.
'Tis my desert.
Thou art awful, awful, doomed to awful end. Thy glory shall soar up to the high heavens. Stretch forth thine hand, Agave, ye her kin, daughters of Cadmus, to a terrible grave. Lead I this youth, myself shall win the prize. Romeus and I, the event will show the rest.
Ho, fleet dogs and furious, to the mountains, ho, where their mystic revels Cadmus' daughters keep. Rouse them, goad them out, 'gainst him in woman's mimic guard concealed, gazer on the Maenads in their dark rites unrevealed. First his mother shall behold him on his watch below, from the tall tree's trunk or from the wild scaur steep. Fiercely will she shout, "Who the spy upon the Maenads on the rocks that roam? To the mountain, Bacchanals has come. Who hath borne him? He is not of woman's blood, the lioness, or the Libyan Gorgon's brood. Come, vengeance, come display thee, with thy bright sword array thee. The bloody sentence wreak on the dissevered neck of him who God law justice hath not known, Echion's earth-born son. He, with thought unrighteous and unholy pride, 'gainst Bacchus and his mother, their orgies' mystic mirth, still holds his frantic strife, and sets him up against the god, deeming it light to vanquish the invincible of might. Hold thou fast the pious mind, so only so shall glide in peace with gods above, in peace with men on earth, thy smooth, painless life. I admire not, envy not, who would be overwise. Mine be still the glory, mine be still the prize, by night and day to live of the immortal gods in awe. Who fears them not is but the outcast of all law. Come, vengeance, come display thee, with thy bright sword array thee. The bloody sentence wreak on the dissevered neck of him who God law justice has not known, Echion's earth-born son. Appear, appear, or as the stately steer, or many-headed dragon be, or the fire-breathing lion, terrible to see. Come, Bacchus, come 'gainst the hunter of the Bacchanals, even now as he falls upon the Maenads' fatal herd beneath. With smiling brow around him throw the inexorable net of death. Messenger.
O house most prosperous once throughout all Hellas, house of old Sidonian, in this land who sowed the dragon's serpent's earth-born harvest, how I deplore thee. I, a slave, for still grieve for their master's sorrows, faithful slaves.
What's this? Aught new about the Bacchanals?
Pentheus hath perished, old Echion's son.
King Bromius, thou art indeed a mighty god.
What sayest thou? How is this? Rejoicest thou, O woman, in my master's awful fate?
Like chance the stranger her barbarous strains, I cower not in fear for the menace of chains.
All Thebes thus void of courage deemest thou?
O Dionysus, Dionysus, Thebes has o'er me now no power.
'Tis pardonable, yet it is not well, woman, in others' miseries to rejoice.
Tell me then, by what fate died the unjust, the man, the dark contriver of injustice?
Theropane, having left the Theban city and passed along Asopius' winding shore, we began to climb the Cithæron's upward steep. Pentheus and I waited on my lord, and he that led us on our quest, the stranger. And first we crept along a grassy glade, with silent footsteps and with silent tongues, slow-moving, as to see not being seen. There was a rock-walled glen watered by a streamlet, and shadowed o'er with pines the Maenads there, sate, all their hands busy with pleasant toil. And some the leafy thyrsus that in its ivy had dropped away were garlanding anew. Like fillies some, unharnessed from the yoke, chanted alternate all the Bacchic hymn. Ill-fated Pentheus, as he scarce could see that womanly troop, spake thus: Where we stand, stranger, we see not well the unseemly Maenad dance, but mounting on a bank or a tall tree, clearly I shall behold their deeds of shame. A wonder then I saw that stranger do. He seized an ash tree's high heaven-reaching stem, and dragged it down, dragged to the low earth, and like a bow it bent. As a curved wheel becomes a circle in the turner's lathe, the stranger thus that mountain tree bent down to the earth, a deed of more than mortal strength. Then, seating Pentheus on those ash tree boughs, upward he let it rise, steadily, gently through his hands, careful lest it shake him off, and slowly rose it upright to its height, bearing my master seated on its ridge. There he was seen rather than saw the Maenads. More visible he could not be, seated aloft. The stranger from our view had vanished quite. Then from the heavens a voice, as it should seem Dionysus, shouted loud, Behold, I bring, O maidens, him that you and me, our rites, our orgies, laughed to scorn. Now take your vengeance. And as he spake, a light of holy fire stood up and blazed from the earth straight up to heaven. Silent the air, silent the verdant grove held its still leaves, no sound of living thing. They, as their ears just caught the half-heard voice, stood up erect and rolled their wondering eyes. Again he shouted. But when Cadmus's daughters heard manifest the god's awakening voice, forth rushed they, fleeter than the winged dove, their nimble feet quick coursing up and down. Agave first, his mother, then her kin, the Maenads, down the torrent's bed, in the grove, from crag to crag they leaped, mad with the god. And first with heavy stones they hurled at him, climbing a rock in front. The branches some of the ash tree darted, some like javelins sent their sharp thyrsi through the sounding air. Pentheus their mark, but yet they struck him not. His height still baffled all their eager wrath. There sat the wretch, helpless in his despair, the oaken boughs by lightning as struck off, roots torn from the earth, but with no iron wedge they hurled, but their wild labors all were vain. Agave spoke. Come all and stand around, and grasp the tree, ye Maenads. Soon we will seize the beast that rides thereon. He will ne'er betray the mysteries of our god. 1,000 hands were on the ash, and tore it from the earth, and he that sat aloft, down, headlong, down, fell to the ground, with 1,000 piteous shrieks. Pentheus, for well he knew his end was near. His mother began the sacrifice, and fell on him. His bonnet from his hair he threw, that she might know and so not slay him, the sad Agave. And he said, her cheek fondling, I am thy child, thine own, my mother. Pentheus, whom in Echion's house you bear, have mercy on me, mother. For his sins, whatever be his sins, kill not thy son. She, foaming at the mouth, her rolling eyeballs whirling around, in her unreasoning reason, by Bacchus all possessed, knew, heeded not. She caught him in her arms, seized his right hand, and with her feet set on his shrinking side, tore out the shoulder, not with her own strength. The god made easy that too cruel deed. And Ino labored on the other side, rending the flesh. Autonoe all the rest, pressed fiercely on, and there was one wild din. He groaning deep while he had breath to groan, they shouting triumph, and one bore an arm, one a still sandaled foot, and both his sides lay open, rent. Each in her bloody hand, tossed wildly to and fro, lost Pentheus's limbs. The trunk lay far aloof, 'neath the rough rocks, part amid the forest's thick strewn leaves, not easy to be found. The wretched head which the mad mother, seizing in her hands, had on a thyrsus fixed, she bore aloft, all over Cithæron, as a mountain lion's, leading her sisters in their Maenad dance. And she comes vaunting her ill-fated chase unto these walls, invoking Bacchus still, her fellow hunter, partner in her prey, her triumph soon to end in tears. I fled the sight of that dark tragedy, hastening ere yet Agave reached the palace. Oh, to be reverent, to adore the gods, this is the noblest, wisest course of man, taking dread warning from this dire event.
Dance and sing in Bacchic ring, shout, shout the fates of gloom of Pentheus, from the dragon born. He the woman's garb hath worn, following the bull, the harbinger that led him to his doom. O ye Theban Bacchanals, attune ye now the hymn victorious, the hymn all glorious, to the tear and to the groan. O game of glory, to bathe the hands bespent and gory in the blood of her own son. But I behold Agave, Pentheus' mother, nearing the palace with distorted eyes. Hail we the ovation of the Evian god. Agave.
O ye Asian Bacchanals,
Who is she on us who calls?
from the mountains low we bear to the palace gate our new slain quarry fair.
I see, and on thy joy I wait.
Without a net, without a snare, the lion's cub, I took him there.
In the wilderness or where?
Cathiron
Of Cathiron what?
gave him to slaughter.
O blessed Agave,
In thy song extol me.
who struck him first?
Mine, the glorious lot
Who else?
of Cadmus.
What of Cadmus's daughter?
With me, did all the race hound the prey.
O fortunate chase!
The banquet share with me.
Alas, what shall our banquet be?
How delicate the kid and young! The thin locks have but newly sprung over his forehead fair.
'Tis beauteous as the tame beast's cherished hair.
Bacchus, hunter known to fame, did he not our Maenads bring on the track of this proud game? A mighty hunter is our king. Praise me, praise me.
Praised I not thee?
Soon with the Thebans all, the hymn of praise, Pentheus my son will to his mother raise. For she, the lion prey, hath won a noble deed, and nobly done.
Dost thou rejoice?
I, with exulting voice, my great, great deed I elevate, glorious as great.
Sad woman, to the citizens of Thebes now show the conquered prey thou bearest hither.
Ye that within the high-towered Theban city dwell, come and gaze ye all upon our prey. The mighty beast by Cadmus' daughter taken, nor with the Salian sharp-point javelins, nor nets, but with the white and delicate palms of our own hands. Go ye, and make your boast, trusting to the spear-maker's useless craft. With these hands have taken our prey, and rent the mangled limbs of this grim beast asunder. Where is mine aged sire? Let him draw near. And where is my son Pentheus? Let him mount on the broad stairs that rise before our house, and on the triglyph nail this lion's head that I have brought him from our splendid chase.
Cadmus.
Follow me, follow, bearing your sad burthen, my servants. Pentheus's body to our house, the body that with long and weary search I found at length in lone Cytheron's glens, thus torn, not lying in one place, but wide, scattered amid the dark and tangled thicket. Already As I entered in the city with old Tiresias from the Bacchanals, I heard the fearful doings of my daughter, and back, returning to the mountain bear, my son, thus by the furious Maenads slain. Her who Actaeon bore to Aristeus, or to know I saw in Ino with her, still in the thicket goaded with wild madness. And someone said that on her dancing feet Agave had come hither. True he spoke. I see her now, O most unblessed sight.
Father, 'tis thy peculiar, peerless boast of womanhood, the noblest to have begot me, the noblest of that noble kin, for I the shuttle and the distaff left from mightier deeds, wild beasts with mine own hands to capture. Lo, I bear within mine arms these glorious trophies, to be hung on high upon thy house. Receive them, O my father. Call thy friends to the banquet feast. Blessed thou, most blessed through us who have wrought such splendid deeds.
Measureless grief. I may not gaze on it, the slaughter wrought by those wretched hands. Oh, what a sacrifice before the gods! All Thebes and us thou callest to the feast. Justly, too justly hath King Bromius destroyed us, fatal kindred to our house.
Oh, how morose is man in his old age, and sullen in his mien. Oh, were my son more like his mother, mighty in his hunting, when he goes forth among the youth of Thebes, wild beasts to chase. But he is great alone, in warring on the gods. We too, my sire, must counsel him against his evil wisdom. Where is he? Who will call him here before us, that he may see me in my happiness?
Woe, woe, when ye have sense of what ye have done, with what deep sorrow, yea, to the end, oh, could ye be only as now ye are, nor happy were ye deemed, nor miserable.
What is not well? For sorrow what the cause?
First lift thine eyes up to the air around.
Behold, why thus commandest me to gaze?
Is all the same? Appears there not a change?
'Tis brighter, more translucent than before.
Is there the same elation of thy soul?
I know not what thou meanest, but I become conscious my changing mind is settling down.
Canst thou attend and plainly answer me?
I have forgotten, father, all I said.
Unto whose bed wert thou in wedlock given?
Echion's, him they call the dragon-born.
Who was the son to thy husband thou didst bear?
Pentheus, in commerce twixt his sire and me.
And whose head thou holdest in thy hands?
A lion's, thus my fellow hunters said.
Look at it straight. To look on it is no toil.
What see I? Ha! What's this within my hands?
Look on it again, again. Thou wilt know too well.
I see the directest woe that I may see.
The semblance of a lion bears it now.
No, wretch that I am, 'tis Pentheus's head.
Even ere yet recognized, thou mightst have mourned him.
Who murdered him? How came he in my hands?
Sad truth, untimely dost thou ever come.
Speak, for my heart leaps with a boding throb.
'Twas thou didst slay him, thou and thine own sisters.
Where died he? In his palace? In what place?
There, where the dogs Actaeons tore in pieces.
Why to Cytheron went the ill-fated man?
To mock the god, to mock the orgies there.
But how and wherefore had we thither gone?
In madness, the whole city maddened with thee.
Dionysus hath destroyed us. late I learn it.
Mocked with dread mockery, no god ye held him.
Father, where's the dear body of my son?
I bear it here, not found without much toil.
Are all the limbs together, sound and whole? And Pentheus, shared he in my desperate fury?
Like thee he was. He worshipped not the god. All, therefore, are enwrapped in one dread doom. You, he, in whom hath perished all our house, and I who, childless of male offspring, see this single fruit, O miserable, of thy womb, thus shamefully, thus lamentably dead. Thy son, to whom our house looked up, the stay of all our palace, he, my daughter's son, the awe of the whole city. None would dare insult the old man when thy fearful face he saw, well knowing he would pay the penalty. Unhonoured now, I am driven out from mine home. Cadmus the Great, who all the races of Thebes sowed in the earth, and reaped that harvest fair. O best beloved of men, thou art now no more, yet still art dearest of my children thou. No more, this grey beard fondling with thy hand, wilt call me thine own grandsire, thou sweet child, and fold me round and say, who doth not honour thee, old man who troubles or afflicts thine heart? Tell me, that I may venge thy wrong, my father. Now wretchedest of men am I. Thou pitiable, more pitiable than thy mother, and sad thy kin. If there be he who scorneth the great gods, gaze on this death, and know that there are gods.
Cadmus, I grieve for thee. Thy daughter's son hath his just doom, just, but most piteous.
Father, thou seest how all is changed with me. I am no more the Maenad dancing blithe. I am but the feeble, fond, and desolate mother. I know, I see, ah, knowledge best unknown, sight best unseen. I see, I know my son, mine only son. Alas, no more my son. O beauteous limbs that in my womb I bear, O head that on my lap wast wont to sleep, O lips that from my bosom's swelling fount drained the delicious and soft oozing milk, O hands whose first use was to fondle me, O feet that were so light to run to me, O gracious form that men wandering beheld, O haughty brow before which Thebes bowed down, O majesty, O strength, by mine own hands, by mine own murderous, sacrilegious hands, torn, rent asunder, scattered, cast abroad. O thou hard God, was there no other way to visit us? Oh, if the son must die, must it be by the hand of his own mother? If the impious mother must atone her sin, must it be by murdering her own son?
Now hear ye all, Thebes founders, what is woven by the dread shuttle of the unerring fates. Thou, Cadmus, father of this earth-born race, a dragon shalt become, thy wife shall take a brutish form, and sink into a serpent. Harmonia, Ares' daughter, whom thou weddest, thou mortal, as Jove's oracle declares, thou in a car by heifers drawn shalt ride, and with thy wife at the barbarian's head, and many cities with their countless host shall they destroy. But when they dare destroy the shrine of Loxias, back shall they return in shameful flight. But but Ares guards Harmonia, and thee, and bears you to the isles of the blest. This say I, of no mortal father born, Dionysus, son of Jove. Had ye but known to have been pious when ye might, Jove's son had been your friend, ye had been happy still.
Dionysus, we implore thee, we have sinned.
Too late, ye say so, when ye should, ye would not.
That now we know, but thou art extreme in vengeance.
Was I not outraged, being a god, by you?
The gods should not be like to men in wrath.
This Jove, my father, long hath granted me.
Alas, old man, our exile is decreed.
Why then delay ye the inevitable?
O child, to what a depth of woe we have fallen! Most wretched thou, and all thy kin, beloved. I too to the barbarians must depart, an aged denizen. For there's a prophecy against Hellas, a barbaric mingled host. Harmonia leads, my wife, daughter of Ares. A dragon eye with dragon nature fierce shall lead the stranger spearmen gainst the altars and tombs of Hellas, nor shall cease my woes, sad wretch. Not even when I have ferried o'er dark Acheron shall I repose in peace.
Father, to exile go I without thee.
Why dost thou clasp me in thine arms, sad child? A drone among the bees, a swan worn out?
Where shall I go in exile from my country?
I know not, child. Thy sire is a feeble aid.
Farewell, mine home. Farewell, my native Thebes, my bridal chamber. Banished, I go forth.
To the house of Aristeus go, my child.
I wait for thee, my father.
I for thee, and for thy sisters.
Fearfully, fearfully, this deep disgrace hath Dionysus brought upon our race.
Fearful on me the wrong that ye had done. Unhonored was my name in Thebes alone.
Father, farewell.
Farewell, my wretched daughter.
So lead me forth, my sisters now to meet, sad fallen exiles. Let me go, where cursed Cytheron never may see me more, nor I the cursed Cytheron see again, where there's no memory of the Thyrsis dance. The Bacchic orgies be the care of others.
End of Part 2. End of the Bacchanals by Euripides, translated by Henry Hart Milman.